Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
yajñartat karmanonyatra,
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
tadartham karma kaunteya,
tadartham karma kaunteya,
mukta sanga samachara,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
सह यज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So last week we were seeing some of the forces acting within you and how you need to overcome your impulses, the force of your impulses, if you want to practice the sadhana of niyama. So niyama means discipline, and it not only means discipline, it means voluntary discipline. So voluntary discipline means something which you take up on your own. And then you keep on practicing that till you start enjoying it thoroughly. Once you start enjoying it, thereafter you don't need to put in any effort to maintain the discipline. The discipline will maintain itself. This is very interesting. Whenever you want to develop a new habit which you know is good for you, initially you want to pick up that habit because you know that that habit is good for you, but the mind will not have a taste for it. Because the mind always wants instant pleasure, which comes by gratifying the immediate impulses. But yet, if you take up the discipline because you know it is good for you, and you keep on practicing that, it's a training for the mind which you're giving. As I told you, this can be practiced in every aspect, starting from at the physical level, doing some exercises or having a schedule and functioning, doing your work in a prompt way, being punctual. Anywhere you can practice this. But the mind will resist initially. And then you go on following that. That is what is meant by niyama. And you have taken it upon yourself, not because someone else is told, but you understand the value of what is being told, and then you pick it up. After a while, once the mind starts enjoying it, the mind will develop a taste for it. Now, once that stage comes, thereafter, you don't need to put any effort to maintain that discipline. So initially you say you have to do this exercise. Now the mind will say, no, I don't want to do. Let's just dramatize this and see. So now you still follow it. You go on doing it. Slowly the mind starts enjoying whatever you're doing. After that, you don't need to tell your mind anything. The mind by itself will start flowing there. It will be very easy for you to follow the discipline. It means you've started enjoying it. Then that discipline sustains itself at that stage. That is when you can claim that you are firmly established in whatever habit which you are trying to create. Till then, there is a danger of falling. There is a danger of getting distracted. You have to be on your guard. But once this stage comes where the mind starts enjoying it thoroughly, thereafter there is no danger of falling. There is no danger of getting distracted by something else and all that. So it is an automatic process after that. Initially, in the initial stages, you are initiating the whole process. You are pulling yourself to follow that. All the struggle is there. But once the mind starts enjoying it, thereafter it becomes an automatic process. There is no struggle. That is the beauty of following any niyama. So elsewhere, in one of the Upanishads, it says Brahman. Brahman means the supreme reality, infinite reality, is maintained by tapas. Tapas means austerities. Following the niyamas, and so many other things are there, all the spiritual disciplines. Now, what does he mean by Brahman is maintained by tapas? It is this only. The infinite, once a person starts following the disciplines, the higher disciplines, and merges with the infinite, thereafter that state is automatically maintained by the tapas, because the niyama which that person has taken up becomes self-sustainable. See, unless and until a system is self-sustainable, you cannot continue with it for long. Why the spiritual path? Why the higher spirituality? Even if you take up something from the world, let's say finances, you will have to work towards becoming financially self-sufficient. Any activity, when it is taken up, you will have to see how you are going to sustain it in the long run. Why is it that in financial management they always talked about very intelligently dividing your finances? Certain portion you save, certain portion you spend for your immediate enjoyment. All that, in the ancient wisdom, everything is covered in detail, how things need to be saved and how much of charity we should do. All these things have been very, very beautifully laid down. Now, why did they talk about savings? It is only to create a self-sustained system. So when you keep on saving a certain amount of money, and you make it grow. Saving means you put it in some asset which can appreciate, which can grow. Now, after a while, that very savings which you have made will grow, and it will start taking care of your day-to-day needs. It means financially you're creating a self-sustainable system. So when it comes to finance, you're able to understand But what you need to really understand this principle of niyama is now with respect to self-development, spiritual growth also. So you need to create this self-sustained system. And once you achieve that, thereafter you can relax. It will keep on going automatically. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, later on, when he talks of sattvic happiness, he says that happiness which is like poison in the beginning. Poison in the beginning means may not be so pleasant to start with, but becomes nectarine in the end. That is sattvic happiness, he says. So the same discipline, initially the mind does not enjoy, it desists that. But after a while, the mind develops a taste for it. Then it becomes nectarine. It becomes a self-sustained system. So in every area of your life, you can apply this principle of self-sustainability. Whether it is with respect to finance, or whether it is with respect to your home, your relationships. Say for example, you're taking care of your children. Now, people take to two extremes. They pamper their children, give everything which the child wants, and the child will not know what is good for it, what is not good for it. Or, in the name of discipline, I know parents who are too strict. They don't allow the child to enjoy it all. Both these extremes are wrong. You should rather guide the child. You should first study and understand what the psychology of the child is, what is the nature of my child, what are its interests, what are its talents, and then you should guide the child to function in its swadharma, the field of interest, what he or she is good in. And you should make your child independent. See, again, the moment I say independent, what I'm talking about is self-sustainable life. That's what you should teach the child. So the moment we talk of independence, now people take it as not taking care at all. It's not that. That's why in one of the previous sessions I had given you the difference between freedom and licentiousness. So you need to work on that. Similarly, other areas, whatever work you're doing in office, you should systematize, you should organize things so that a good part of it becomes self-sustainable. Then you will have a lot of time to invest in improving the quality of the work, in thinking about further growth. See, if you want to move up in your career, you need to get time to think about growth. Only then you can move in the career. From where will you get that time? If all the time is going away in doing the routine activities, then you will have no time. That is where this principle is very handy. Then when it comes to your own personality, the physical habits which you should build, the habits at the physical level, waking up early in the morning, on an average. Don't tell me what if I have some work in the night. That can happen once in a while, that and all is okay. But on an average, creating a beautiful system, a healthy system for yourself. And then the kind of food you eat, the exercises which you do, developing that habit. The yoga, the kriyas, all these things should be done till the mind starts enjoying it thoroughly. A person who is able to follow a discipline till he or she gets established, now that person will become very successful, will be a great achiever. Similarly, at the emotional level, you should become very self-sufficient. See, today you are so dependent emotionally on others for your happiness. Please understand one thing. Happiness is something which comes from within. When you are dependent on others for your happiness, you will never be happy. Your entire happiness will be dependent on the other person's behavior. So you need to create a self-sustained emotional aspect in you, a strong emotional quotient, as they call it nowadays. There's a EQ, like how you have IQ. There's a emotional quotient also should be strong. These are the basics of the yogic way of life. If you take any yogi, he or she will relate with others, will enjoy the company of others thoroughly, all that will be there. But that person will never be dependent on another person for the internal happiness, because that is a very slavish life. So at every level, you have to create this self-sustained system. You should strive towards that. That is what a master does. See, when you go to a master, what does he do? He creates sadhana materials for you. He gives you the wisdom and simultaneously creates the sadhana materials for you, and then he gives it to you. That is the greatest gift which a master gives to the students. Why? Because once you have the sadhana material with you, all the materials, thereafter that becomes a self-sustained system. Whether the master is there with you physically or not, you can keep following the sadhana and you can keep growing. When you are equipped with this ancient wisdom, then again you become a very self-sustained individual, a self-sustained sadhak. Why is it that in the scriptures it is said that we should have the highest gratitude towards our guru? Why? Because a true guru, a true master makes the student create or helps the student to create a self-sustained system. If that is not there, then what will happen is the student will become very dependent on the master physically. The physical presence of the master will be required all the time, which is not possible because the body has its limitations. There is a lifespan for every master. So then what will the student do after the master drops his body? Does it mean he has to remain without guidance? Does it mean he has to go to some other master? No. In spirituality we say stick to one person and focus and learn everything and keep applying all the principles. If you go to too many people, if you read too many books, this, that and everything, you will not grow in a focused way. Actually, that will become a hindrance. So then what do? You follow the self-sustained system. The very principle of sadhana is based on this only. Why I am covering this is because a person has asked this question. I have received a mail where it's a very interesting point which he has covered there. He says right from young age, what he has learnt about spirituality is that you don't need to do anything. You just go and surrender to a guru, and through Guru Kripa means the compassion of the Guru, everything will be done. The Guru will do everything for you. Just catch hold of the Guru's feet and the Guru will take you. So, what he has asked is, what is the necessity of doing sadhana? When the Guru will take care of everything, why should I do sadhana? All I have to do is just one effort in my lifetime to surrender to that Guru. And there ends the matter. This is a total wrong interpretation of devotion and surrender. Nowhere in the scriptures it is said that just go surrender to the Guru, thereafter you don't need to do any sadhana. Rather, what is said in the scriptures is that you go to a Guru in order to learn how to do sadhana. Even in the Bhagavad Gita later on, in one of the chapters, I think it's the fourth chapter, when he describes what are the qualities of a good student and what are the qualities of a master. In brief, for example, he says the student should have three basic qualities. Pranipatena means complete surrender to the master. And then pariprashnena, which means questioning. Questioning means understanding the logic of what the master is saying and then following, not following the principles blindly. So wherever you require clarification, naturally you'll ask questions. And then sevayaha. Sevayaha means seva, the expression, of gratitude. Because a Guru is so selfless, he gives his wisdom. So naturally, when a student does seva, when he or she serves the master, then the karmas get burnt up. So these three qualities they have given for the student. And then the qualities of a master is also given, where two qualities. One is the master should have the base in the scriptures. Some people say, I have not read any scripture, but I have experienced. Now, how can you believe that person? He may have experienced also, but whether that experience is the highest and whether that experience will be suitable for all others, all that how do we know? That is why a logical system has been developed in the ancient wisdom. So he says the master should be well versed with the scriptural wisdom. And we are not talking about mere chanting or mere intellectual interpretation of the scriptural verses. We are talking about an in-depth mastery through the yogic approach. And then the second quality of a master these days is Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta means one who is firmly established in that experience of Brahman, in that experience of the infinite. So otherwise a person may be a very good pandit of the scriptures, but that doesn't mean he can be a master to guide. So both these. Now what is interesting is you tune yourself, you become a good student. Then the wise people, who is a wise person? Who has these two? Who has an in-depth understanding of the scriptures, who has understood the essence of the scriptures, not merely the mastery over the Sanskrit language or mastery. All that is and all fine, but he's not talking of that. That essence of the scriptures have to be mastered. That is possible only through the yogic approach. And then one who has done the tapas and experienced the infinite. So the wise people will come and instruct the students. That is what is mentioned. Instruct. What do we mean instruct? Instruct means the master will come and guide the student, help the student understand the sadhanas, what should be done, how should I progress. All that, those instructions will be given. He doesn't say the master will come and give his grace and the student will develop. He doesn't put it that way. This is not to encourage tamas or laziness. Spirituality is meant to increase your dynamism. So my request to that person who has asked that question is to come out of this concept. You have said right from young age you have been having this concept. That's a very wrong principle. Somebody has guided you in the wrong way. Now you have to come out of that. Because unless and until you understand this and you come out of that, you will not do any sadhana consistently. So the role of a guru is in giving instructions. And the role of the student is in learning those principles, the instructions, and putting them into practice. So when such a perfect student and a perfect master, when they meet, there is a tremendous outcome. The spiritual development is speeded up tremendously. The energy which is created becomes so divine, so positive. So the role of the master, see, when we come there, I'll explain in greater detail. I am just briefly mentioning about that verse with respect to this context alone. But there is so much to it. All that we will see when we come to that verse. But when he talks of instructions, supposing, let's say, the master instructs today and goes away. Tomorrow you have some other issue. Now what will you do? And let us say the master is not available. Then what will happen? That is why the master creates a self-sustained sadhana system, sadhana materials for the sake of the students. And when the students have all those tools, so the sadhana materials are the tools which a student has, then he or she is well equipped to follow that and evolve spiritually. So whether we talk of the physical level, financial level, relationship level, emotional level, any level, right up to the spiritual level, it is the self-sustained system which will work in the long run. The master may go away, may leave the body and go away, but the system which he had set for the student will never go away. That will remain with the student forever. That is the beauty. And one who follows the sadhana principles, that is the system which the master sets, one who follows that on a daily basis will find that he or she is always receiving the grace of the Guru. That is the true meaning of receiving the grace of the Guru. Because in your question you mentioned that the Guru Kripa, the grace of the Guru and all that. Yes. How do you even receive that? It is only by doing sadhana. To initiate you into the sadhana, the Guru will do. Thereafter, the traveling part, he will teach you how to travel, where to go, how to function, what are the principles you need to follow. Everything he'll teach you. Then you only have to do that. How can a Guru do it for the student's sake? That's not possible. So these principles have to be properly understood. Why is he talking of niyama? If everything can be just done by the Guru himself, then there is no necessity for the student to follow any niyama. Later on, Krishna will be saying, Uddare tatmanatmanam, which means a person has to raise himself or herself by himself only. A master will guide, but you will have to raise yourself by yourself. How? By following the niyama. So we are spending a lot of time in this because this is what is true spirituality. This is what will help you in traveling in this path of self-development and self-discovery. So, when we talk of niyama, as I told you, voluntary discipline. So, discipline which you take it up by yourself, willingly. So, when will you take up something willingly? All that we saw in the last session. When you're impulsive also, you will take it up willingly, but you will end up in trouble later on. And when you function through clarity, when you understand the value or the long-term benefit of something, and then when you take it up, that is going to enrich your life. So, niyama means that, taking up to that path. So when the master says, do the yoga sankirtan sadhana every day, now understand why that is being said. What is sadhana? Why sadhana is required? Then you do it and see. Your own experience thereafter will tell you. One girl was telling me that she slipped up from the discipline because of some issue, and then she got back. So what made her get back was that she said, suddenly I remembered, I used to do the yoga sankirtan sadhana very, very regularly. And during that period, my life was so wonderful. The challenges were there, the external challenges were there, but my capacity to handle those challenges was very high. And I used to have so much of energy, cheer and happiness from within. All that was there. And then due to certain reasons, I stopped doing the sadhana. I became a little irregular and all that. Now I find that my energy reserves has got depleted. The same challenges which I was able to handle so easily earlier, now they are affecting me. I've become more stressed. But just the memory of that period where when I did the sadhana, how I had so much of power, the internal power, just the memory of that helped me to get back, she says. So this is what niyama can do to your life, provided you take it up voluntarily. If you do something just because somebody else has told you without understanding the logic, it may be your own guru also. But without understanding the logic, if you do it, then after a while you may find it difficult to sustain it because you've not really understood the principles in depth. So this is what is niyama. Now how do you practicalize it in your life? When we say follow the disciplines, now how do you go about doing that in order to maximize your spiritual evolution? That also we will see. There are so many dimensions to this word niyama, And out of that, I will give you a few dimensions which will help you to practicalize this. See, the first one which I told you, the voluntary discipline, would have given you an in-depth understanding of what niyama is. Now, we will also see the application of it from a practical level, which is very, very important. So, niyama also means rule. So, the first two dimensions, number one, discipline, number two, voluntary discipline, we have seen. The third dimension of niyama, niyama means rule. Now, it has always been said that in spirituality there are no big rules and regulations. These are only principles. But if you take this word niyama, it means rule. That is why I first took those two dimensions, voluntary discipline. So once you take up something on your own, then that rule is again self-imposed only, not by somebody else. So you are in the process of taking up something on your own and practicing it. So what do we mean by rule? What do we mean by rule? See, what these great yogis have said is that if you want to gain mastery over your own mind, the first thing is you need to fix a schedule on a daily basis. You should have a daily schedule, time-bound schedule. That is what is meant by rule. Now, who is going to fix this schedule? You yourself are going to fix. They have given enough guidelines how you can fix your schedule. So based on those principles, you can evolve your own schedule. What are the general principles? That also we'll be seeing. But first of all, what is the necessity of a schedule in a sadhak's life? If you leave the mind on its own, now it will keep on running without any direction or dimension. That is an impulsive life. So in order to gain mastery over the mind, they said now you fix a schedule in life. This much time I'll spend for my personal sadhana, this much time for my work, this much time for my family, this much time. So when you allot different time blocks for your activities, then what happens is that is training to the mind. The mind wants to do anything at any time. Now, whereas when you fix these blocks of time, now whether you like it or not, you will have to follow it. If you are practicing the sadhana of niyama. So sometimes the mind may enjoy one portion. Some other thing the mind may not enjoy. Sometimes when you have said there is a time for exercises, the mind may want to do something else. We may want to see a movie. Sometimes when you have fixed a time for a movie, let us say, the mind may want to do something else. All these are possible. So you will come to handle your mind very, very easily if you have a schedule. If you don't have a daily schedule, what will happen is the mind will just pick up anything it wants, and generally the mind gets attracted only to negative things which are actually harmful to you in the long run. So what are the guidelines? Based on what will you fix a schedule? In our ancient wisdom, it is said there are three kinds of karmas which you need to do. Number one is called daivika karma. Daivika karma means divine actions. This is for sadhaks. Now don't bring in the higher philosophy and say Isn't it that everything should become divine and all? That is the advanced stage of becoming a yogi. But when you're a sadhak and when you're doing sadhana, they have given you very, very simple instructions. Daivika karma, number one. Number two, sakama karma. Sakama karma means the karmas which you do to fulfill your desires. Here, kama means doesn't mean uncontrolled desire. It means the ichcha, which I have explained in other contexts. What are my basic desires? What do I want to achieve in life? So all that you fix, and then you have to work towards that, fulfilling your own goals. And then the third one is called shanti karmas, pacification, activities which will pacify your mind. So what they say is that the daivika karma means the personal sadhana, direct sadhana. In your context, following the Yoga Sankirtan schedule and the other empowerment meditation materials which have been given. So using all that and doing your daily sadhana, that is the daivika karma. Now they have said that early morning is very much suitable for that. Then throughout the day, what do you need to do? Sakama karma. Sakama karma means taking up those activities which will help you fulfill your duties in life, which will help you fulfill your desires in life. That will be throughout the day. And then after sundown, they say it should be shanti karma. Shanti karma means you should slowly wind up your activities, winding up, basically. And then even sleep, nidra, is considered to be a shanti karma. Shanti karmas are also very important because the shanti karmas actually recharge your batteries. So if you, for example, if you don't sleep properly, the next day morning you will not be able to do your sadhana effectively. Throughout the day also you will feel very dull. So the shanti karmas actually recharge your battery. So at the physical level it is the sleep. So when they talked of nidra, it is not merely at the physical level. Physical sleep, then mental rest, everything put together is only nidra. Nidra means we think just physically sleeping. No, the quality of sleep is also very important. So when you keep watching let us say some program in your cell phone till late in the night and then you sleep, the quality of your sleep will not be so good. This is what even the doctors are saying today. So based on these guidelines, the daivika karma, the sakama karma and the shanti karmas, you can formulate a schedule. So when you get up early in the morning, you can do your yoga sankirtan sadhana and you can do some kriyas for your body. When you do it in a conscious way, that becomes a very powerful sadhana method, And then after that, whatever your duties are, whatever your work is, you should get to do that. You may be an engineer, you may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, you may be a salesperson, whatever it is that you're good at, whatever your field of activity is, you get into that and do what you are expected to do there. And then after evening, you start winding up slowly, which will culminate in the sleep, nidra. Sleep means physical sleep, physical rest and mental rest. So you have to make things conducive for the mind also to rest. So based on these three types of karmas, if you can formulate a schedule, then you are following the sadhana of niyama. So when you do this, what will happen is, on one hand you will grow spiritually because you're doing the daivika karmas. On the other hand, you will also fulfill your duties in the world. You will enjoy everything in the world. Why? Because you're doing the sakama karmas. And then when you do the shanti karmas, your mind will become very peaceful. You will get recharged on a daily basis, just as every day you are recharging your cell phone. You have to recharge your physical body, your mind. Those are the shanti karmas. And then again next day, it's a fresh day for you. You make another start. So you will progress spiritually. You will also progress at the worldly level. That is a total life, a yogic life. This year we'll be having the empowerment of finding a rhythm in life, which I had taken earlier, but that was a shorter program we just had for 4 days, and there was not enough time to give all the principles. That is why, even though I had said I will give you the sadhana materials, I didn't give those sadhana materials because we had not covered it fully. So now this year we will do it as a full-fledged course, 22 days. And the finding rhythm in life is based on the principle of laya sadhana. That, if you master that, you will master your entire life. So we'll be seeing what are the different aspects of life, the 12 aspects of life, and in each aspect we will do the meditation. I'll give you the principles to be practiced. We will do the meditation and we will heal all the blocks which you may be facing. And when you do that, and when you start functioning in life, you will find that your whole life will become very, very balanced. You will learn to balance the worldly life and spiritual life. So whatever principle I am giving you now, you start practicing, and when you receive the empowerment of that this year, in another few months, you will find a tremendous impact created. We will see that. And many people have been asking for this finding rhythm in life because they missed it that time. And not only that, even those who have been attending have always been asking me that, because they wanted to do it again and again, so they were asking for the videos and all that. Those videos cannot be given just like that, but we will do it as a full-fledged course now in great detail. We'll have 22 days means 22 meditations sessions, and all the principles in depth we will see. The financially, wealth-wise, how to enhance your wealth aspect, how to enhance the emotional aspect, how to enhance the career aspect. Like this, all the 12 aspects we'll see. It will be very, very useful. So that is this powerful dimension of niyama, following a schedule. If you don't follow any schedule in life, you can never discipline your mind. It is not possible. You can never gain mastery over your mind. Many people think meditation means just doing whatever the mind likes, and they kind of get into a state of daydreaming, and then they say I'm doing meditation. That is not meditation. Meditation means being fully aware and keeping the mind in the present. There are different levels of meditation. That is there, but I am saying what is the actual principle of meditation. So unless you strive towards that, towards achieving that, you are not really progressing in your meditation. Today, people meditate in an indisciplined way. See, the very idea of meditation is to discipline the mind, to achieve perfect mastery over the mind. But that itself, if you do in an indisciplined way, then how will it work? People just practice something in the name of spirituality. They just read any book they want. And today you have the internet from where you can get any information from anywhere. So they just simply type something, get some information about spirituality, they practice it for a while, then they get bored with that, then they move to something else. So they keep on oscillating. Such an approach will not work because it goes against the very principles of niyama. So rule, having a schedule. So you can take it up as the homework today. See your day as these three parts. One, daivika karma, to do your personal sadhana. Then the rest is for doing your worldly karmas. Sakama doesn't mean being a slave to desires in this context here. Because the same word sakama has been used elsewhere, where they say don't do sakama sadhana, always do nishkama sadhana. They've said that. I mentioned that also. So in that context it means one thing. Here what these yogis are meaning is doing your worldly activities. Whatever duties you have, whatever you want to experience. So that is throughout the day. And then the shanti karmas, winding up and going off to sleep. Consciously. So you find out, you divide your day into these three parts, and then see, anyway time is 24 hours for everyone. So you formulate a nice daily schedule and you start voluntarily following that. Initially you may like a few aspects, you may not like to do a few things. All that struggle will be there. You have to overcome those struggles. You will have to show a lot of grit. Only then you can grow spiritually. So take it up as a homework and divide your day into these three parts and create a beautiful schedule and balance in your life. Okay, so take that as your homework for today. Start the process. And don't go on analyzing, okay, I'm fixing a schedule, some people do that for months together. that is also tamas only. Fix some basic things to be practiced and start the process. Then you can go on perfecting your schedule. You can never have 100% perfect schedule, And when you're fixing a schedule, have some time for recreation. Once a week, you may have time for recreation. That all the recreation comes under shanti karma. If you want, you can plan a holiday. Once in few years, I want to go on a trip, let us say. This is just a suggestion. It's not that you have to follow it. It all depends on your requirement. Say together with family, we'll go. No, that is a part of shanti karma. That will recharge your batteries for you to come back and function more efficiently. So learn to divide your activities into these three. Personal sadhana, then worldly duties, and shanti karma, things which will relax you and recharge you. So once you learn to divide your actions into these three, it will become very easy for you to follow a schedule. Sport activities, supposing you like to play a particular sport, that will become a combination. It can be exercises, which is personal sadhana, and it can also be a shanti karma. So you will combine these two and do. So it will become very interesting. Life will become very, very interesting for you when you follow this discipline. So you make a start today. So that is the dimension. Now, the next dimension of niyama. Niyama means taking a vow. Very, very strongly deciding, I will do this. A vow means you are giving your word. You're telling yourself, I will not budge from whatever I have decided to do. That is what is meant by taking a vow or an oath. It actually means a vow or taking an oath, Now, what will help you to stick to your vows? It is your willpower. So if you want to follow niyama, you will have to work on increasing your willpower. And when you increase your willpower, you will be able to follow your schedule more easily, the niyama, the sadhana of niyama more easily. They complement each other. So where do you need to show your willpower? Not in every area of your life, unnecessarily. When you have fixed a schedule and the mind feels lazy, it does not want to follow it. Without any rhyme or reason, it wants to slip. That is the time where you will have to exercise your willpower and gently coax the mind to follow whatever you have set out to follow. If you keep using your willpower everywhere, now that will cause a lot of frustration. So you should use this aspect of you, the willpower, in a very balanced way. See, some people in the name of discipline, they just force themselves to do a few things, and then that agitates them, that suppresses them so much. They get very frustrated. So that energy comes out in other ways in their lives. They become highly short-tempered. They keep on shouting at others. They keep judging others in so many ways that negative energy comes out. So you should not become like that also. See, this is niyama is a beautiful balance between enjoying whatever you're doing and at the same time being disciplined. If you go to this extreme, you will get frustrated, forcefully doing things. If you go to that extreme without any discipline, if you're enjoying, then it will become an indulgent life. You will lose all your energies. That is also no use. See, the mind has the tendency to go to the extremes. So niyama is right in the middle. It is a middle path. Neither are you frustrating yourself, suppressing yourself, nor are you indulging and depleting all your energies. So that is the beautiful dimension of niyama, that is taking a vow in life. Whenever you want to achieve something, this dimension of niyama is very much necessary. Any achiever will first make a promise to himself or herself. See, what do we mean by love? What do we mean by vow? Vow means you make a promise to yourself. I will do this. See, we talk about promising others. Now that is on all secondary. The first thing is what you have promised to yourself, first you should follow. Whenever you make a promise to yourself, and you don't follow it, now your self-confidence level comes down. So be very, very careful when you're following this dimension of niyama. Without any logic, without any analysis, don't make too many promises to yourself. I will do this, I will do that. I'll be calm from nowadays. Some people say, like a very highly short-tempered person, when he came to attend the Sunday discourse, that time it was happening in the auditorium. So that day I had spoken about anger, how all your energies get depleted because of anger. So you should learn to be calm. Now he was a short-tempered person. So he came to meet me after the discourse and he said, "Sir, I have decided." I said, "What?" "From this moment onwards, I'm going to throw away all the anger." The way he said it itself was with so much of anger, throw away all the anger. I said, "You first calm down a bit." It is not possible like that. So if you unnecessarily make a promise like that to yourself, now what will happen to him is that next time when he loses his cool, when he gets angry, now one is now he has to conquer anger. Another thing also will happen, now he'll start feeling guilty. All his self-confidence will come down. So I told him, you just come, start doing the sadhana, go take one step at a time. So you should be very, very careful about what promises you make for yourself, the standards which you set for yourself. You may want to perfect your life, but you can't do it at one go like that. So increasing your willpower has to be done gradually. Start off in small areas first. Let us say you are waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you want to now wake up at 4 a.m. Now you can't straight away do it. If you say from tomorrow I'll wake up at 4, invariably 1 or 2 days you will do it, third day you will not be able to do it. Then you lose all your confidence. The wrong application of niyama, this dimension of niyama, can lead to loss of self-confidence. That is why I am cautioning you. So instead of that, what you can do in that case, okay, I am getting up at 8 a.m. The body is also tuned to that kind of a schedule, So now, let me start getting up at 7:30. From 8 to 7:30, it's not a big jump. And then for a week or so, you get up every day at 7:30 and you get that extra half an hour time to do some sadhana. It may not even be a week, even 2-3 days when you wake up at 7:30, you will find that you are ready to wake up a little more early. Then from 7:30, you can even move to 6:30 straight away because you are more inspired. And then from 6:30 again, go a little early. So till you achieve your target, you gradually move into that. This is how you need to apply this principle of vav, that is willpower. You should be very careful with that. So if you straight away make if you take an unrealistic oath or a vav, and when you're not able to follow it, that is when it will become very dangerous. Dangerous in the sense once you lose your self-confidence, again you will have to work on building that up. If you do the sadhana in the right way, day by day, it will increase your self-confidence. It will increase your self-esteem. And the more self-confidence you have, the more sadhana you will be able to do, the more peaceful your mind will become. The highest self-esteem is to merge with the infinite. That is the final goal. But this is how you need to make a start. So it is not only with respect, I gave an example of waking up in the morning, even financial goals. Step by step you move up. With respect to your work also. One step at a time. And at each step you make a small promise to yourself and then stick to it. See, remember one thing. Whenever you take a vow, whenever you take an oath, I will do this or I will avoid this, whatever it is, whenever you do that, when you make a promise to yourself, what our yogi says, at any cost you need to do it. You need to fulfill that promise. Why? Because that is directly related to your self-confidence. In the spiritual path, being confident about oneself is a key principle that creates so much of positive energy. What I find is, many sadhaks, because of a misapplication of this principle, they lose their self-confidence and they become very guilty. Before doing sadhana, at least one thing, they didn't have any guilt. But once they start doing sadhana, they become aware of what are the negativities they have within themselves. So they now force themselves and make unrealistic promises to themselves, which they will not be able to anyway fulfill in the long run. So they lose all their confidence and they become very unsure of themselves. So if you want to become a powerful sadhak, if you really want to grow spiritually, follow this rule, follow this dimension of niyama in the right sense. So make small promises to yourself in every area of your life, whether it's your personal habit, whether it's relationship. Let's say you are not spending enough time with your family and you feel, I'm not spending enough time with my family. Now, what should I do? Okay, from today onwards, I'll spend 3 hours every day with my... You can't do that. So, you allocate a certain time for this week. Yes, I will spend, and that time no disturbances. I'm going to fully focus there and do. Like this, if you make small promises and when you fulfill them, you just try it out for about 3 months or so. 3 months is more than enough. You will find that your self-confidence level will be high, number one. And number two, by exercising this principle in small areas, what will happen is day by day, your willpower will start increasing tremendously. And when your willpower becomes maximum, a great distraction or a great temptation may come as you are progressing spiritually, but you will have the willpower to say no to that. But you can't start off with that. It is not possible. So don't just read some books on self-help and all that which they give, where they give a foolish application of develop your willpower from today onwards, just do it. And see, these are all just temporarily psyching yourself up to work beyond your level. So what is very important is take up activities and then make small promises in small areas. Bring little changes on a daily basis. Don't try to change at one go. It's not possible. Small changes on a daily basis over a period of time will give you tremendous results, rather than trying to bring about a radical change within a very short period of time. So this principle needs to be followed everywhere, whether it's work or even if you're doing yoga. If you want to make your body flexible, little by little you have to make it flexible. You can't do it at one go. Many people overdo it and then they get some pain or some pain somewhere and then they stop their very practice of asanas and all that. I've seen that happen. So it's a beautiful dimension provided you follow it rightly. So number one rule, follow a schedule in life based on the three types of karmas: daivika karma, then your worldly karmas, and then shanti karma. So excellent guidelines they have given. We'll be seeing more aspects of these different types of karmas as we go along, because the very chapter is karma yoga. No, the goal of karma yoga is to make you grow from the worldly sense and from the spiritual sense and create a perfect balance. And then not only do you have a schedule based on this principle, you exercise your willpower. You start off in a small way and then keep increasing your willpower on a daily basis. This is very important. See, niyama, the sadhana of niyama should be practiced on a daily basis. Day by day, you should become better. So take up a few areas. See, again, you can do this homework also for this week. That is, take up a few areas in your life. I would say 2 areas or 3 areas where you yourself know that you can do better, but you're not doing. It may be a personal area, let us say, like waking up in the morning, not lazing around, or doing your yoga asanas, spending more time with your family, whatever it is, good ones, or eating the right type of food. It's like this, you take up 2 or maximum 3 areas. In that, now determine what your level is first. That is a very difficult thing. Oh, I am extremely lazy in this area. Now the ego will not want to accept that. Somehow or other you will try to prove that no, I have spent time with my family, I am not lazy. Something it will say. No excuses. This is where I am in this area right now. Now make a small promise to yourself to move to just a level which is a little above whatever you're doing. I'm getting up at 8, now I'll get up at 7:30. I'm not at all spending time with my family. I'll start spending 15 minutes with them. That is better than not doing anything at all. No? I am eating too much of junk food. Let us say 10 junk foods I am eating. Now I'll eat 9. 1 I'll skip. It all depends on what your whatever level you are in right now. So just make a promise to yourself at a micro level. See, this particular dimension has to be practiced at the micro level, little bit, and then stick to it at any cost. Once you make a promise to yourself, remember, whatever happens, you have to fulfill that. And once you fulfill that, let's say you follow it for a week. Now you just sit and look at yourself, you will find that your self-confidence level would have increased. Your self-esteem would have increased. Your mind will feel more happy. Your guilts would have been conquered to that extent. Then after that, you can see what is the next level. The same formula only. So all the other dimensions you can practice a little more liberally, but this alone, I am putting that word of caution right at the beginning. Do it at a micro level. Small steps, baby steps. So when you have a huge task in hand, divide that into small activities and take up one by one. Take them up one by one. Within no time, you will find that the entire task will be completed. So again here, most people take up to two extremes. Either they will not do anything about their weaknesses, they don't work on them at all, or they will just keep on a very unrealistic schedule. They'll raise their standards to a very high level. Within one day itself, they'll want to change. As Swami Ramatirtha said, you can never become a Buddha overnight. It's a very beautiful advice which he gave to his students. You can never become a Buddha overnight. It's a process, gradual process. So when you go to sleep in the night, today, have I become better than yesterday? That is the question which you should ask yourself. And if you follow these dimensions of niyama, the answer will be yes. And if the answer is yes from your conscience, because your conscience will know. So when your conscience says yes, then when you close your eyes, you will be able to sleep very peacefully. But if your conscience says no, then you will have a disturbed sleep. Practice this. Okay? These are very practical points. I have taken the principles and I have given them to you in such a way that you can practice them very easily in your life. More than this, what else do you need? Not only are the principles being given, but they are put in such a way that you can very easily practice them. So all you have to do now is to apply these things in your life. So think about these points, and we will continue further in the next session. I'll give you a few more dimensions of niyama which will be very useful, and then we will continue further, because in the next line he talks of karma yoga, the karmendriya, the organs of action have to be used to do karma yoga, he says. The whole chapter is talking about karma yoga, no doubt, but in this context, a few principles will be given to you, which will help you to make your life better. Okay? So now we will do the nididhyasana meditation. Sit in a relaxed way. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am getting into a state of deep relaxation. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not these emotions. I am not these thoughts. I am that infinite, supreme self. From this moment onwards, I choose to follow the sadhana of niyama, in my life. Every day I am becoming better and better. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today, a few very important principles have been given to you. These are meant for you to practice. Don't start giving advice to others. In other words, don't start telling others you should follow discipline, you should do this, you should do that. A sadhak means one who practices what the Guru gives. The moment you start advising others, then the focus shifts from your growth towards correcting others. That is not your work. If you think that somebody else requires this, introduce these Sunday sessions to them. When they also get into it, when they understand the logic behind all this, when they absorb that healing energy, and when they experience, then they will automatically start practicing. Okay, so this year we are going to, as I told you, we'll be having the Finding Rhythm in Life empowerment. It's going to be very, very powerful. So right from now itself, you can start becoming very focused. As we go along, I'll be doing conforming the Nidhyasana meditations so that they will prepare you for that empowerment also. So whatever these principles of niyama are, you start practicing them. They will help you tremendously in receiving the higher energy when actually the empowerment is given. Okay? So thank you very much. Hari Om.